All right.
We are live, baby. Okay.
We are live. We are live. All
And
right. So
I'm trying to do the SprintSet part on here. How do I do it?
all you gotta do is hit share. All you gotta do is hit the share button. That's it. Yep. That's it. I guess so. I don't know if you did it, but if you did, yep, there you go. All you gotta do is hit that share button.
I'm following. God, I wish I could learn how to do this. Show me. This is where I am.
That's it, right? All you do is hit the share button. On the bottom blue, it's a bottom blue button. You hit share.
I don't see it, boo.
Click on the video itself and then hit share.
I did. Oh. No.
All right, don't worry about it. Let's focus on you, right? That's what matters. All right. So I have the pleasure of having the famous, incredible, fun energy, loving being Vivian Guzman on here, and Vivian is incredible. For those of you who don't know her, you're going to get to know her. You're going to get to know her contagious energy, and you're gonna fall in love with her, right? She's great, right? And so much fun. So Vivian, let's get started here.
First and foremost, I want to thank you so much for coming on StreamYard and sharing your time with me. And I'm so excited to be here today because you are amazing. And I would like people to know that I met you through Unblinded. Yes. I met you through The Real Raw first, and then we connected, and then I just was not feeling very optimal, and I went up your way because I was trying to remember how to meet. And I went up to your Above and Beyond Holistic Wellness Center, and you adjusted my back. And that's when I discovered that you did a whole bunch of different things outside of just being a chiropractor. You're world renowned as a holistic wellness expert. You have been on CBS, ABC, Fox. You have been written up by Forbes magazine. You have a #1 international bestseller, Gladiator's Guide to Corporate Health and Wealth. You are one of the most beautiful and kindest people on the planet. And I just love you and thank you. And now I want to know, how did I end up doing SprintSet?
Well, let's start there, right? Like, what got you to want to do SprintSet? Let's share that with people.
I was not feeling optimal. I was having trouble sleeping, and I've been way out of whack. I've been thinking I could eat cheese and wine whenever I want, and crackers, and that wasn't working for the waistline. And summer's coming, so that was there. And then I was telling you that I wasn't feeling well, so that's how it all began. So you took a scan of my neck, and you said that I have some sort of, because what you do is so holistic, it's on every level, and you started to share about the body and all this stuff that I don't know, but I'm loving. Some sort of osteo, or what is it, arthritic neck thing?
That was in your spinal care, right? But for SprintSet, what we did is we ran a body composition analysis.
Oh,
right?
Come on, we really have to talk about that because that's horrible.
So
First of all, I don't want Alzheimer's, so my butt is going to definitely be on SprintSet to get my levels down.
Well, and that's it, right? So type 3 diabetes is what you would consider Alzheimer's, right? People don't even know that, right? Like, whoa, I know what type 1 and type 2 is, but what's type 3? Type 3 is the Alzheimer's, right? And when we don't take care of our bodies and we allow it to continue, that's where we fall into that risk. Now, for you, you said, hey, look, I love being in my sexy clothes and I love being in my sexy skin.
Vanity, definitely.
And we measured, right? We measured what was it going to take.
Raj, I feel like when you just connected, like you said, obesity and diabetes and Alzheimer's, that's not something that I would put together.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, people
I don't even want that conversation. That is so not sexy. What I do know is that in 50 days, I've already lost 3 pounds in the last 3 days, and this is feeling really amazing.
That's awesome. So 3 pounds in 3 days, right? Mm-hmm. Talk to me, Vivian. Are you eating real food?
Am I eating real food? Dear God, let me show you how much real food I'm eating. By the way, this is my lunch. I decided to prepare it. Look at that. That is chicken with 10 ounces of fennel.
Wow. Awesome.
So I used a bunch of spices, but the truth is I can't get through almost all the food that you have. I've been like, yesterday I had like a burger and without the bread, obviously, just the meat. And I had a beautiful salad, but it was a mound of salad. And I was like, how am I going to finish this? I was so stuffed throughout the whole entire day.
You're eating a lot of food, right? So you're eating a lot of food. And look, it's not prepackaged, right? People are like, oh, hey, I'm going to do this program out there. And then they have these prepackaged foods. And a lot of them are very toxic, right? There's a lot of toxicity in them. I like you to prepare, real foods and have real healthy, nourishing foods, which is what you're doing. And you being a superstar like chef, right? Everybody knows, Vivian's also this incredible chef, and she prepares these meals in ethnic backgrounds, and we're going to be doing a lot of cooking stuff, right, together. So I'm excited about that, right?
I'm excited about that.
Yeah, because she's so great. I do not look at her right there. She's hydrating, I got a little bit left of mine right here, right? Just at the tail bottom. So I'm just finishing up right here, finishing up.
You know what's really cool, though? I could hardly ever get a gallon in, but getting half my body weight in water is working very nicely. Is I could catch up with that. And intermittent fasting, I think it's easy to follow. And I think in the sense that I eat organic all the time as much as I can, but I also mix a lot of different things. And so I guess what I'm discovering is, and I think what you were talking about that makes this unique, is that it's your own blueprint for each individual. And I was trying to figure out what that meant and how you tie it to culture. So how do you tie that to culture?
Yeah. So, every culture has their own unique type of foods and spices and recipes that they do, right? And there are specific things inside of certain recipes that could be harming an individual, right? And may work for some things may work well for one person, but they don't work well for the next person, right? And SprintSet shows you how to identify what does work best for your body. Like, what is my preferred food? What is my preferred spice? What is my preferred, seasonings? What are my preferred fats? What are my preferred proteins? What are my preferred carbohydrates, right? What actually works best for me as an individual? And we have a specific way of testing that, which, we are in the process of doing with you right now. You're just in the beginning phase. You're just on starting day 3 today and already down 3 pounds, right? So going into day 3, you're down 3 pounds. You're not starving, right?
I'm not starving.
Right? You're eating real foods, right? You're nourishing your body, and your energy's there, right? And all these great things are happening for you already in such a short time. So these are the things that SprintSet will identify for people. And at the same time, Viv, it helps what? Helps with the hormones, and it gets your body into what we call is a state of autophagy. It's a big word. Autophagy. What is that, right?
How is that different from ketosis?
Well, when you are in ketosis, you will also get into a state of autophagy, where your body is actually going in there and it's cleaning out the cells, right? The thing is that we don't want to be in ketosis for a long period of time, which a lot of people are sitting there for a very long period of time, because then it can cause stress on your kidneys. And we don't want to be causing any stress on different vital organs of your body. Okay. So we do have principles inside of SprintSet that, your body will be in a ketosis type of state, right? In a ketogenic type of state, but we don't want to be in there for prolonged periods of time. So there's a specific way to do that, right? There's a specific way to know what foods are right for me, a specific way of knowing when should I eat, right? Do I alter my eating schedule, right? During my eating schedule, what is it that I eat? How much of it do I eat, right? There are specific parameters, and that's what's built into our system. And then there's also foods that have been tested, right? Which we're not going to share on here, but I will give you, just some, right? So I'll pull it out of the book right here, right? And this is the SprintSet Success Journal.
Yep.
And I'm just going to say some of them, okay? I'm not going to share all. Let's just say that there's a wide variety of proteins, right? So when we take a look at a wide variety of proteins, well, there's a bunch of different seafoods, okay? Like abalone and bass and tuna, certain portions, grouper and haddock and halibut and, roughy, and those are just some, okay? And then you could have poultry, right? You can have poultry, you can have different lean meats, right? So you can have venison, you can have buffalo, you can have veal, you can have beef, right? But we want all these things to be in specific, forms, like more of a clean protein, right? And then there's vegetables like asparagus and arugula and bell peppers and Brussels sprouts and cabbage and cauliflower and celery and cucumbers and daikon and escarole and fennel and kale and lettuce and mushrooms and onions and da-da-da. Anyway, the list goes on, okay? There are different fruits. Then there are fruits, right? Yes, you can have fruits on SprintSet, right? So apples and blackberries and blueberries and clementines and dark cherries and grapefruits and strawberries and oranges, etc., right? And then there are healthy fats. There are healthy fats. And some people are like, oh, I love almond butter. Guess what? You can have that, and almonds and avocado and cashew butters and coconut for people who love that, and being able to use different types of oils that you can cook in, and which ones are better for me to cook in and which ones are not, right? And different cooking strategies.
Which ones are better, avocado versus olive oil?
Avocado would be a better one because of its smoke point. Okay. So anyway, that's one thing that we would teach, right? So this is just like little tricks for people to know, little tips, which we
name, Dr. Raja Sahura. You call it sprint and sets. What's in the name SprintSet?
Because when you're in a sprint, you're losing a lot of weight. Right? When you're in a set, you're resetting your weight set point, right? So let's say, for example, somebody was, I'm just going to make up a number, okay? You could be much heavier, you could be much lighter, but we're going to just use this as a number as an individual, okay? Let's say we had a woman and she was 150 pounds, okay? Okay? And this woman, now she went from 150 on her first sprint and finished off at 140, and now she's going into her set. So now we're resetting her weight at 140 before we go onto the next sprint. So now it's set, it's stable. We go into another sprint. Now she goes, let's say from 140 to, 132. Okay, great. Now we're going to reset that weight into place. And then we're going to go into another sprint after we set it in place, right? Reset that weight set point. Right
so you're resetting your body to adjust to that new weight that you're losing, so that it locks in, so that you can keep sprinting into losing more weight.
That's right. That's right. We keep doing that. And then you lose this. And then you lose this. Right? You lose this.
I got all that right here for you.
You lose that, right? And you look at this and you go, what is this? This is 5 pounds of fat.
That's insane. That is gross and insane all at the same time.
and you know what? This is what people are doing. They're eating fat, the wrong fats all the time, right? Because some things are quick and easy. And sometimes people think that they're doing healthy and they're not doing healthy, right? And healthy doesn't just mean what the norm is, but what works best for my body.
Which means when you're a woman like me, which I encourage everybody to go ahead and take a look at this and take a look at SprintSet, is because I know that in the last 3 days, I have slept better than I have in a very long time. And it is a beautiful thing. And I have historically issues sleeping. And of course, there's PMS, there's hormonal fluctuations. And one of the reasons why I actually came to you is because I've had a long history with leaky gut. So my intestinal linings are permeable, and I've gone to every doctor and I've seen a whole bunch of different, taken a lot of different exams. Now I haven't, because I felt, I got this now. And then of course you loosen what you decide to eat. And then later on, you have no idea. Now, is it because I'm older that I'm having these problems, that I'm hormonal, that I'm allergic to this? Or is it because I have not been respectful of my body with the leaky gut? Or is it, what is it? It's just like, I would just like to know what I can and cannot eat. And I think that that's one of the reasons why I love SprintSet, because I think by starting here, I'll recognize what individually I'm not okay with. And I feel like when you were saying that it was cultural, I think there's something deeper to that, in my opinion. There's something in your DNA that locks in what it knows to eat from your ancestry. And I'm making this up, but I feel it. It's like, I'm not readily going to be buying a buffalo to eat for dinner, for example.
That's right.
But I will be having some shrimp and fish, because I grew up and my historical background is Mediterranean. So Spanish and Dominican, those foods are easier for me to digest, but it doesn't mean that every single thing I eat, I can digest.
Yeah, me too. I'm from a Middle Eastern and Mediterranean descent as well, right? So being in there, it's like, hey, look, I know that my body is not built for this cold weather, right? Like when it's cold out, like I'm I don't enjoy it, right? Me personally, right? But when it's warm, I'm like, I'm in heaven. Yay, I'm happy, right? I'm in heaven, right? And it's the same thing with food. It's the same thing with foods, right? It's, what foods work better for me. And that is the beauty of it. It's like being able to discover that and say, oh, here's a blueprint for me. I hear the story all the time. Hey, when I was in my country, my weight was good. I come to America and all of a sudden, and I'm not making fun of any accents, okay?
No, I love it anyway.
Right? But then I come here to America and all of a sudden I'm eating the same foods and I gain 30 pounds, There's got to be something to it. You're like
stand-up comedy there.
Yeah. That's right. And it's also what's in the foods here, right? It's much different sometimes.
Well, we could go down a rabbit hole. You're all fuzzy. Where'd you get fuzzy
I'm
on me?
I'm all fuzzy, and I need to get back into focus here. What is happening? Where do you like me? I'm trying to get there. You can see me fuzzy. That's because you're so bright right now. There you go. See? This should be all about Vivian, right? Not about that girl. This is about Vivian, right? And Vivian, you've been a star, right? You've been on some TV, right? And I think that
Days of Our Lives.
You're on Days of Our Lives. So hold on one second.
My name was Maya Liano, and I was a diva. I was trying to blow up yachts with gelatinous substances, mind you. Swear to God, that was the word they used, gelatinous. I love it, by the way. I love words. And
I'd love to have an episode on that.
What?
I'd love to have an episode on that.
You'd be good at it.
Yeah, just the life of the stars and their habits and what they do, but going into that and their mindsets and am I starving myself because I have to be on a show, or do I overeat because I need to look apart, or some of those things. I'd love to do that with you. I think that would be fun.
I'll feed you those, so you're not going to starve on my end.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're look at your personality. It's incredible, and you light up a room. Any room that you walk into, you light up. When I met you in the unblinded community that Sean Callagy started, right? The first time I heard you speak, it was like, wow, who is this energy? And she lights up this entire room. You were doing a real raw, right? And you just lit it up, and I was like, wow, that is, look at that personality. Look at the love in this person. Look at the care in this person. Look at how she's making a difference in the world, right? And then I got to know you, and I'm just honored that you trusted in me and SprintSet, right? In allowing us to support you in this, right? In your journey here. But you're incredible, Vivian. And I know that you're very humble, right? And you're not like, yeah, I've been on this and that. And that's why I wanted to call it out and say, look, this person's been on Days of Our Lives. She's been on many things, right? And the list goes on and on and on. But more importantly, that isn't what defines her. What defines her is her relationship with God, the person that the beautiful wife that she is to the incredible husband that she has, the relationship that she has with him, and how they live by values, right? And how they create this remarkable life together, and how you are both striving on becoming your healthiest selves right now, more so together, and that you do this together is so beautiful to me. And I really wanted to honor you for that, Vivian, because it's a beautiful thing to see.
You just made me mushy. No, it's true. My husband has lost 85 pounds in the last 2 years. And I look at him now and he's sprinting all over the place. And I have a 65-year-old body right now. Okay. I don't want to be 65 for my husband who's lost all this weight.
Well, you watch when we do a follow-up on this and you see where her age is going to be, right? Vivian, you're doing incredible. Vivian, what are some last things that you would say to maybe some women or some men that are out there about SprintSet?
In 3 days, I've seen a remarkable change. But more importantly, I am not hungry. I have a lot of food to eat. I feel so much better in my sleep. I know that I'm in denial that I'm getting older. And I think that for anybody who's in denial about hormonal shifts or having a leaky gut or having digestive issues or insomnia, like I've had all of these problems as well, because you have fibroids, it creates hormonal imbalances, and I've historically had them. I still have them. And so I think for any woman who's having a struggle with their energy, with how they're sleeping and what they need to eat and not knowing where to start, I think SprintSet is a place, this is it. This is a place to start.
That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your heart. Thank you for sharing your time. And now anybody who would like to learn more, right? You can, if you want to just schedule a call with me directly, I'm going to actually give time just to have an opening discussion with me. Okay. And you can just go to call with drroger.com. Right.
I'm calling you. You know what? I also saw some other really cool things that you do. Cause I mean, on a, the diet is part of it, but you talk about it on a holistic level. So it's not just being adjusted. It's about stress. It's about figuring out a better balance for your life. And you have a lot of different modalities that I haven't even seen or partaken in your office. So you have tapping, you have music, you have sound. Talk to me about that. That's awesome.
Yeah, listen, we have all of that stuff, right? And that actually comes in when we're in that SprintSet for life component, right? Even with regular SprintSet, right? We're doing affirmations, right? So we're doing affirmations, we're doing tapping, we're doing I am affirmations, because somebody doesn't love who they see in that mirror, right? And we need to get them started on understanding their power of who they are. Like I was actually speaking to somebody today, and the person said, "Hey, I told my wife that maybe I'm not as strong as she thinks I am," and I said to him, "Well, everything that I've seen thus far from you shows me that you're not only strong, but you're stronger than most men that I've ever seen. The fact that you could even have a conversation with your wife and share your heart with her shows me how strong you are, right? Shows me that who you are, you're a real man, right?" I said, number two, everything that you've done thus far in your life and in your journey, right, of healing has demonstrated by results. Your results show how strong you are and how committed you are as an individual. I said, you wake up with rituals. You go to bed with rituals. I said, just because you have a day maybe that you fall off the track, that doesn't define who you are. It's not about being so rigid every single step of the way, right? You've been selective, and that is key. And when you fall off track, guess what? You just nudge you right back on track, and it's okay. See, there are so many people out there who are just so hard on themselves and they beat themselves up all the time. And I see this with many women as well, where they beat themselves up. And I'd say, no, let's not beat yourselves up. Let's lift ourselves. Let's use it as an awareness moment, right? Oh, this is an awareness. It's an aha, right? It's an aha. If I did something that took me off track, well, I didn't cheat. I chose. It was a choice day for me. And you know what? I gave myself permission to do that. So let's not beat ourselves up. Let's just get right back on track. And it's okay, because in life, that's what it's going to be about. And you being able to understand who you are as an individual and where your triggers are and where your rules have come from, what has been given to me from mother, father, teacher, preacher, and who I am today and who I want to become, right, lives within inside of you. But we need to identify that. We need to really understand, what are your values? What are the last 5 major decisions that you've ever made in life? And based on that, that's really what your values are. And are your values in alignment with the outcomes that you're looking to achieve? Because if they're not, let's shift our values around and let's start living by them. So these are things that we begin to implement, right? In time. And then, having different challenges that are set up for people. Like we just did, a challenge that was, 100 minutes of movement, right? Or 100 reps of a movement. And this is when they get into our SprintSet for life, which becomes, really fun cultural engagement challenges, a lot of other components. Right now in where you're at, it's all about a discovery phase, right? It's let me discover who I am. right? Let me really begin to identify who I am and what works best for me and what doesn't work best for me and what creates me to have brain fog or what affects my digestion or what affects my moods or what gets me irritable or snap at, my hubby when I didn't even mean to, right? Because it was never about him. It was about me, right? And what are the things that are bringing, that really pump me up and energize me and create harmony within inside of my body. Right? Because I always say, having balance, balance for me isn't really, I look at it differently, right? Because having your wheel completely balanced at all times isn't really realistic. You can have it for a moment, but it's not really realistic. So when I look at balance, I look at it as more of harmony, like a figure skater, on one toe with one leg up and spinning in circles with, doing what they do, right? And creating more of a harmony in your life. And that's what SprintSet's about, right? So, how do we get to our best life, right? Some of you say, well, hey, I want to get to my best weight. Well, what is your best weight? Because what your best weight is for you, where you're doing at your best and you feel at your best, is going to be different than anybody else, right? Or what somebody else feels is right for you. But let's get you to your healthiest self. Let's get into a rhythm. Let's break bad habits. Let's adopt better habits, right? Let's strengthen your body and let's create happiness and joy in your life because that's what life's about, right? How can we become even more happy than we are today? How can we have even more joy in our lives today? Not just being happy on the outside, because a lot of people have a fake happiness, right? Smile, smile, smile on the outside, but on the inside, they're not feeling that. And that's where we come alongside you and say, let's help you do that. And that's what we live by, right? Getting you back to your God-given health potential.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I agree. And I'm happy that I feel in such great hands with you and your team, and you have coaches, so you're never alone.
And that's the key. What the differentiating factor is that every single day you have support. So you have support by a coach that is monitoring you on a daily basis. So every single day you're going to input your energy, your weight, your mood on a regular basis, right? So as you do that, the coaches are going to get to see that, and they're going to respond to you, and they're going to support you, and they're going to celebrate you, and they're going to be by your side. And if they need to write long, lengthy, pings to you or get on a phone call with you, they will do that because they're here to support you every single step of the way. You're never alone. Never alone. And that's what we pride ourselves on. Yay! So let's lose this. Let's lose this, people. Right?
Let's lose it. Let's do it on the SprintSet. It's time to sprint.
And we'll share more. So Vivian, thank you.
I love you.
I love you too. You're awesome. And anybody who wants to learn more, either shoot a text message, right?
Or contact me. I'll tell you all about it.
Or just schedule a call with me. I'm happy to help. Mwah.
Mwah.